Hello there and welcome to this OptimizePress update. Now today's video we're actually going to give you an update on OptimizeLeads, which is our list building platform, and this is available to OptimizePress Club members. So if you're not a member of our OptimizePress Club, you can jump in there, you get access to using this tool, this OptimizeLeads. Now this is our list building tool, like I say, and it is awesome at creating nice little forms, pop-ups, exit pops, scroll pops, and some other cool things I'm about to show you. So this update is the latest update that we've rolled out. It's got all the new features packed in it, so you can start using these right away. So the first one is the new impression allowance. You can see here it says allowance at the top. We created the impression allowance after the beta period that it's been running for. So you now have an impression allowance which allows you to see how many impressions you're getting on your pages and upgrade or downgrade as you see fit. So you click on the allowances here and it'll explain about your allowances. Then you've got an option here to click through and increase allowance. And from there you can go through and read. You can watch a video from Ian about the allowances, how it works. It explains a bit more about it. It shows you the other features that you get included with different plans. And you can scroll on down. From here you can upgrade or downgrade your allowance. So for example, one impression on a form, that's what's classing as your impressions. So we have different allowances here that you have. You can have 20,000 impressions, 50,000 or 100,000. Every optimized lead account comes with the default amount of impressions you get. So everyone will get 5,000 impressions. That's included with your original plan. Now from there, if you want to upgrade and get the lead magnet delivery as well, it's $9 a month. You can get 20,000 impressions. So it really depends on how many impressions you're getting and if you want to have the lead magnet delivery added on, and then you can obviously scale up from there. So you can read a bit more about it, the features. I'm also going to cover some of these features, explain the benefits to you. So you can see here we've got our allowance information. Now what happens with the impression allowance is you get your up here your numbers. You can see how many you're getting. You then also get a notice bar if you start getting close to that allowance limit, and then we'll start sending out the odd email to say, look, you're reaching your limit, you need to upgrade if you want to keep your forms active. This resets every month back to zero, so it goes back to zero or back to your amount, for example. At the moment here, this counts down and it resets back up to my number. The allowances doesn't carry over, so if you hit your limit like the day before your renewal period or day before it's resetting, you probably don't need to upgrade at that point unless you have, like a high traffic launch that's happening on that night and you wanted to have collect leads. But that's how the allowances work. So we'll notify you when you're drawing nearer your time, and then you can choose to upgrade or downgrade at any point. And like I said, it resets at the end of each month. So that's kind of how the allowances work. This is really just to put in place, to allow the sort of fair use policy across the board. And we know that from the beta period that some people use way more allowances than we actually had before. So it's really quite a good option. Some people don't need all the allowance. A lot of people can just use the free allowance that comes with OptimizeLeads. So that's really the allowances. So we've increased that and changed it all around, made it easier for you to understand and upgrade, etc. The next option is the lead magnet delivery and file limits. So for example, let's go down to this opt-in form here. This is actually required on the higher level plans. You could see before on the $9 a month plan. So this is added on to your additional club membership. So you can increase it here. And with the 20,000 impressions, you get the lead magnet delivery, which allows a 3 megabyte file and 20 gigabytes of bandwidth. Now you probably will go nowhere near that bandwidth. It's really just there in case you're using large files and you're getting a lot of downloads. How this works, obviously, if you're getting a lot of emails, you're collecting a lot of emails and you're getting a lot of opt-ins, you probably should be also making a lot of sales generally if you are making offers to your email list. This is the lead magnet delivery option you can see here over on the left hand side. I can click this, I can then choose to turn it on, and from here I have the option to customize the email message that is sent out to my customers, so I can customize it there. And then I can also add in a file URL. So this allows me to put in a URL of possibly another storage solution. So I might use S3 or Google Drive or something like that. I might even have the file stored on my WordPress site. So I can just put that URL in here. And then alternatively, I can choose an existing file. So if I pick existing files, I'll have some other files in my folder here. And I can upload a new file. By clicking upload, it allows me just to upload a new file. You can also access your files through the main menu. I'll show you that in a second. So what this does, it has a 3 megabyte file limit on this plan. So when you're on this plan, you get 3 megabyte file limit. You probably shouldn't need that. You don't have large files unless they're big video files. The beauty of this is that as soon as someone opts in, you can send them the customized email however you want it to be. You've got subject, you've got who it's from, you've got the text here, then the message below the opt-in form download link. So if you look at the blog post, you can see some examples of how that email looks to people and where you can customize it. So that is the lead magnet delivery option. So it really takes all the pain away from creating these download files and where you link them to and stuff like that. So basically someone opts in, they go through here, they can see the thank you page. So they'll be shown your thank you message if you're using the that panel, the thank you panel, and then within seconds that email gets sent out to the person directly from OptimizeLeads. It gets sent to the person, they can click the link and download their file. You haven't got to worry about doing all the technical stuff and uploading it and all that kind of thing. So it makes it easier of just being able to deliver a file to your users after they opt in. So that's that feature, that's the lead magnet delivery. If you go back into the OptimizeLeads main account and your dashboard, you go to account here, there's an option that says files. From there you can choose to view your files and upload other new files. You don't have to do it on the fly in the actual template. You can come here and if you've got 4 or 5 different lead magnets you wanted to upload, you can choose to upload those all at that same time, and then you can pick and choose them as and when you're using them in your own templates. So next integration is our ConvertKit integration. Let's see if we got it on this form here. If we go here, and from here I can expand. I go to integration settings, and you can see I've got ConvertKit as my option here, and it then pulls down a list of all the different forms that you have inside your ConvertKit account. ConvertKit doesn't really use lists; it has forms. So you create a form. And that collects the email addresses. So it is kind of like a list, but they primarily use tagging as their function and segmenting. So what our new integration does, it allows you to choose ConvertKit, you choose your form, and then you can choose a tag which is inside your ConvertKit account. This is beautiful. This means you can then trigger these automations and stuff going on inside ConvertKit. So someone can opt into your form here on your website through this form. They'd get put onto your list or your form inside your ConvertKit account, so you can easily go back and look at them, and then you can also tag them, which then triggers that automation to kickstart a whole follow-up series or your next video course or anything like that. So that's what this that's how powerful this really is, the lead using these tags in your marketing, so you can trigger other things to happen that you want to happen. And you can also add in obviously bulk tags here. You just add in, you can write them in if they're in your account, then you separate them so you can have a long list. It saves you actually choosing. So if you want to add multiple tags to leads rather than just the one tag, you can use the comma separated feature there by adding in a tag and putting a comma and adding in another tag. So obviously you want to make sure you've got the tag made inside your ConvertKit account. So that is the ConvertKit integration. We love it. ConvertKit is an awesome little tool, but the automation thing is brilliant because it now allows you to trigger automations based off something that's happened on a form on your site. So it's very powerful. The next feature we have here is GDPR options. We love GDPR, so we want to make sure we're compliant for people, and we want to give people the option to make their own mailing lists, GDPR compliant. Let me go back and get another form here. Let's just pick that one. And what we have on the left-hand side, we're on the main panel here. Left-hand side, we have GDPR features, and from GDPR features we have, if I turn that off for now, and we have here show to all visitors, show to EU visitors only, or you can just choose to turn it off. When you turn it on, obviously they appear, the options below like that, and if I turn one on, you'll see over on the right hand side we've now got this text. I'll write it here and you'll see it appearing on the right. Okay, so you can see there the text is added, the checkbox is added here as well. This is where the user clicks, and you can customize the color and font for that as well. Let's just go back. Go to GDPR. So this allows you to add in a checkbox. You can actually add in 2 checkboxes. Okay, so you've got multiple checkboxes if you want to have them in place. What you can also do is add a tag to confirm or decline that the person opted in. So one thing with GDPR is if you have a form where someone is asking to get something from you, like one of your lead magnets, you can have a checkbox to say, look, are you interested in getting in the rest of our emails that we send out about this particular offer? And you can have a checkbox here that can confirm they are, the checkbox confirms that they're interested in getting more emails from you. But what you can do here is then tag those people based off your GDPR consent. So you've got consent, confirm or decline. So inside your email list provider, for example, I'm connected here to ConvertKit. So inside that, if I had a GDPR consent tag and a GDPR declined consent or consent decline tag, I would then choose that in this list here. That means that when this person opts in, it's going to fire that data over to ConvertKit, and inside ConvertKit you can go and see the tags that have been applied. This is proof for you for GDPR compliance. So if the person ticks it and then you get the confirmed tag, and then later on they say they never opted in, you can go back and look through your list and see that they did actually tick the box and they were confirmed. So then you can go through that process. So it just gives you a bit more proof in the process of you collecting names and emails and how you choose to do with them afterwards. So you've got two options. You can have two checkboxes, two messages in there, and the same for below. You've got confirmed and declined. So that's the GDPR features. And the next bit, the fun bit, is our new template categories. Now these templates are pretty good. We've got this first one here. We've got the intro optimizer, which is awesome, and we've got our sliders that have just been released. So these have been in beta for a while. They've been tested out. I can show you this one here. What I'll do is I'll go to create new at the top, and we have a option to choose the different ones. You can just quickly jump. So we've got sliders here. We've got the slide-ins. These are all the new different slide-out templates. So you can obviously choose how you want these to perform, whether they slide up, down, left, right. You can choose where they appear. We then also have the intro optimizer. Now this has not been done before. There are no other list building platforms that have this current feature in. So I'm going to show you how this works in a moment. So let's go back to my dashboard. I'll pull up the intro optimizer I've got here. The beauty of this is that it's not an opt-in form as such, but what it does, it pops up and allows you to direct people to certain pieces of content. So you can see this one, for example, here. This is the whole thing you see, the purple color. This intro optimizer drops down on the page, and from here you can choose to grab people's attention with some headline text. And this button, for example, you can click on it here, and you can then link that through to a piece of content. So down here we got URL. You would add in the URL of where you wanted that button to go. Then going further down, we then have this option here for 4 more content link areas. So these could go through to anything you want. It could be going through to your shopping carts, to offers, to other landing pages. Maybe you've got 3 or 4 different opt-in forms for different lead magnets that you have. You might have checklists and templates, and you might have a video course, or you might have a really good blog post like a case study. You might have 4 case studies you want to highlight so people see those and can go and click through and watch, or read those case studies. And again, you'd click on it here, and from here you put in some text, and we've got the URL at the top there for that piece of content. You can see here it says put in the full address. You can also put in obviously mail to addresses and telephones. That will trigger things like the calling option on the mobile devices. So there's 4 pieces of content, and you can choose what goes in there. You can add in the image. You can see this image here. So you can upload, pick an existing image or upload a new one, and then you can adjust all things with the text and things. You can make the text bold on some of them. You can center align. You can change the font styles, and obviously you can write in more text that we've got there. So nice little feature there. And how this previews, I'll show you how this previews. If I go over to the page, you can see it. This is the normal page, and it drops down like that, okay? And then you've got this little option here to close it, and that just pops up. And you can see at the top we have that little tiny bar there showing. Bring it down, the customer can always get to that again. Now how this triggers on the page again is controlled by you. So you can choose how this works. If we go back into the home page here, go back to the dashboard, over on the right hand side we've got the publish options. If I click on publish, we can choose here to have this load on the page load, so we can pop it up when the page loads within a number of seconds. We can choose the inactive pop, so it appears after a certain period of time. We've got the scroll pop, so we can pop it up based off an element, a percentage, or even a pixel amount when the person goes down the page. We then also have the exit pop as well. So it works on all 4 of these, but not on the button click pop, the one at the top. Okay, so we've got these four it all works on, and you can choose how you want it to perform or what it does, the times it wants to appear, save changes, and that'll all it be. So whatever's active here is how it's going to work on that page. And like I say, you've got inactive, scroll pop, and the exit. It works on all of those. And again, if I preview it, I think I set it to like 3 or 4 seconds there. If we wait, and then it'll just appear on the page. There it goes. Okay, so lovely little intro optimizer, and those 3 styles at the moment. Go back to the intro optimizer, and you can see we've got this style design again with 4 pieces of content, and then this other style design, bigger background image, again with 4 pieces of content. So beautiful, beautiful little designs. These are really nice, and they're really effective for getting people to see content that they could otherwise miss if they were just navigating your site. And how you use these can really work with how you get people to go and view those pieces of content. So if you have something on a delayed timer, if it appears after 40 seconds, for example, in most cases, if someone's still on your site for 40 seconds and reading, they probably will be interested in one of these pieces of content that you drop down. So just remember that. Let's go and look at the sliders. I've got one I've made here before, so if I go back in, this is a slide option we've got here. And we've got all those different styles you saw. We've got text over here on the right hand side. These are really nice. You can choose how the sliders load on the page. You've got the frame animation settings, so you can see it slides in from the right. You can have it slide in from the top, slide in from the left, so it comes right across the page, and you can have it slide up from the bottom. So the bottom is probably the most popular for these types of sliders, but again, they've got different styles. You can go in and choose what you want to have in that piece of content. You've got this bullet icon list here for this one, for example, so you can add in text. And you can add more, you can add up to, if you keep going, you can add in more bullet lists for this one if you wanted to. And again, you've got all the connections for the form. You can choose how the form, what kind of content you have on it, the submit button, everything can be edited inside these. So we've got lovely designs for these sliders. They work really well, and they're mostly used on the sort of scrolling elements. When people are scrolling a page, it pops up or it slides up from the bottom. So if I go back here, you can see we also have 2 here which are more like content type buttons. I'll show you one of those in a moment. Let's go and look at this form here. So we can click Use Design, and you notice on the intros you've got the option here. The intro panel is actually locked. We've got the thank you panel, so you can have the thank you panel on, which means people will see the form pop up, and when they submit the form they will see a thank you panel afterwards. So if I just choose ConvertKit for now, save that, you can see that nice little, this is the little opt-in form over here on the left. You've got the background color, you can easily change how that looks, blend it in with your own design. Let's go back and look at the form options. What have we got? We can turn on the name field as well if it's required, so we can turn that on. So we've got name and email. And then we've got the thank you panel. You can click on the thank you panel. That's how the thank you panel looks. So you can see how that one previews. So that's a nice little design. Again, you can choose the animation, how the frame animation is going to slide in, pop in, scroll in, come in from the bottom, top, however you want. And we also have, like I said, these content style ones. If I just go back to create new, go to the slides, we've got these 2. You've got this one here, clean, and you've got this one down here called save. They are like content type buttons. So if we just open this one, you can see how this one looks. There it is appearing on the right hand side. Now this is not an opt-in form as such. What it does, it just allows you to put in a link for a piece of content. So if someone was going to click on this piece of content or this button, they would go through to whatever piece of content you wanted to show. And for this one, it doesn't have a thank you panel or an intro panel. It just allows you to go and put that button in, customize the color and things of the button, the font styles. You can then add an image as well. If you wanted to change this image, just click on it. There's the image there. You can change your image. So these work really well for showing related content. If you had a piece, 2 blog posts that were very similar, or you maybe had a lead magnet that was very similar to that piece of blog content, you could pop this up and it could say something like, make sure you get this lead magnet, or register for our live webinar which is starting up, click here. So you're sort of encouraging that 2-step process where they click through to see what's available. You could then send them to a landing page or webinar registration page, however you like. These are really good to test, so it allows you to test whether an opt-in form works better or if the button gets more clicks through to a webinar registration page. So that is the intro optimizer and the slider. And as for now, that is all the current new features that we've rolled out. So we're pretty jam-packed with stuff you're all ready to use. Lots more integrations coming. We have things like, I will give you a sneak peek just now. We've got Demio, Drip here, Emma, other form integrations being introduced. We're going to start testing Demio and things today. So lots more planned for OptimizeLeads for those of you guys who are using it. Like I said at the start of this video, if you're not currently an OptimizePress Club member and you want to start using OptimizeLeads, you can join the OptimizePress Club. There'll be a link below this video in the blog post. So go to the blog post, go to the bottom, there'll be a link there somewhere for you to click on and you can upgrade your membership and be part of the OptimizePress Club. And you get access to all these awesome features like OptimizeLeads, and we've got our other plugins and tools that are available just for club members. So that's it for now. Thanks for watching this video. We really do appreciate your time here, and we also appreciate your support that you give us and your feedback. So thanks again. We'll be back soon with more updates.